people of color. Shawn, I'd love to start with you to ask, you've mentioned, of course, the parenting programs. I wonder if you could say more, especially maybe with that context in mind, right? That sort of social political context in the country that Havita referred to about, yeah, what are some of the main ways in which you try to do that? So, and what effect do you think your programming is happening, your gatherings are happening, now they're more virtual, more likely to be virtual, but happening on the children who are involved, even if the children aren't there in the room when their parents are meeting?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think that these conversations, well, I will just say that any type of support that, parents are getting, it does reach their children. I think the conversations that parents are able to have, the ease of which they're able to have them really does translate to their children. And it does kind of give their children more competency and understanding about how to navigate the world that they're in. And so I think we have parent groups where we're talking about, and creating kind of these spaces to share their culture and their skills and their resources, and also get educated in racial justice and advocacy. And that vicariously is always going to connect to their children. And so I think it's doing that. And Hafida kind of addressed this a little bit, but our parent groups are really there's cross-racial solidarity that's happening in them. And I think, in our current political climate, which, feels like you're either for us or against us, you're either on this side or that side, to have a space where you can come into with many different racial and ethnic backgrounds, whether they be immigrant families or not, to show up and have these conversations really does it. Well, one, it gives you a sense of belonging, but it also, I think, tells parents that they matter and that they care. I think in our kind of climate, it's hard to feel that way sometimes. I know as a Black mom, I'm constantly thinking about the dangers that my children are going to face, the inequities that are out there. But in a folk space, joy is centered. It's not just, what's terrible about the world or what they're struggling with or what their children are being faced with, but really is centered around like joy and community and support.